Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about what I'm so passionate about. There's music, that's my passion, and then there's frog ponds. So, did you know that we could really help the Australian native frogs if we were all to just put a small pond in our garden? It doesn't even have to be a flashy pond. This is actually a little cattle drinking container that I got from the local co-op. But you can use all different sorts. You can also get little fiberglass ones, which is what I'm installing in the front of my house, which is probably better because it's not a plastic, but this was just what I had to work with. And I'll tell you, it really does the trick, because since I've installed it and the plants have begun to grow, this has actually got heaps of tadpoles in it. I live on the northern rivers, and this area is really old swamp ground, or wetlands I should say, and amazing things happen. Like, see these little tiny snails? They come out of just the normal grass, and when it gets really wet, the snails that live on the grass can actually also live in the water. And it's like they just convert. So they're obviously land and water dwellers, which is pretty amazing. They're adaptable, so when the landscape changes, they do too. But you see, this one is 50 centimetres high, right? And I try and keep nothing around the edge because there's a very specific reason. The cane toads can't get in, but the native frogs can. So half the reason that the frog species are all having such trouble is because everybody's making their lawns and mowing their lawns and filling in all the little places where water would have gathered. And there's more and more humans, so there's less and less spots for frogs to make ponds. So it's literally just a lack of space to do it in. So if everybody made a little pond, and if they could follow this really clear one rule, that it has to be kind of straight up and down, so the cane toads can't jump in. So in other words, they can't lay their young, the cane toads, but the native frogs can. Even the tiny ones can get into this because they're just such hoppers. So do what you can, people, to support the little frog species from coming back, because it's only good, so nice when you can hear them at night. And they're such nice little gentle, delicate creatures that don't hurt anything. They might hurt a fly, they like flies. They eat cockroaches, they love all different sorts of insects. But they're really delicate, and they're disappearing, and they're really special. And we really need to look after them. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed seeing tadpoles turn into frogs when I was a child. Like, it taught me a whole lot. And I'm sure that the children in the future, and the children's children would like to see this as well. And we really need to do whatever we can to ensure that these frog species will still be around. And the cool part is you don't have to feel powerless. You can do something about it, and this is exactly what you can do. This didn't cost a lot of money. I got a few different water plants. I even took them out of little local streams and stuff. You just have to have no chemicals. You have to make sure the water's clean, and you basically just have to let it sit for a while, and then it becomes alive. And apparently where there is water and there's a correct environment, the frogs will just come. So it's also a bit of patience, and you just wait. And you just make sure you don't use chemicals in your garden, and you call in the frogs, and you've done a really big bit. Because, like, for example, there's about 100 tadpoles in here, so possibly I've actually really helped 100 little possible frogs just in my own little garden. So imagine the difference we could all make. Thanks for listening.